Although the Russia-Ukraine war is not over yet, if there are no major changes, the impact of this war should be very clear. As for who will win or lose, it is not so important. It would be a miracle for Ukraine to win, and lose it is also natural and reasonable. Russia's failure to win is essentially the same as losing, so Macron said that Russia has suffered a major geopolitical defeat and has essentially become a vassal state of China. After the breakthrough in Sino-Russian relations in March this year, the United States has become more honest. After all, in the eyes of many people, Russia has suffered losses in Ukraine, but its fundamentals have not been shaken. On the contrary, various factions in the country have united under external threats. As a comrade in arms, it has relatively high value to China, especially in the eyes of the verification war faction in the United States. They have always regarded Russia as thorn in their flesh, and believe that the in-depth cooperation between Russia and China will change the strategies of China and the United States. The relative status quo of power. Although Trump's foreign policy of easing relations with Russia in the past few years was basically rejected by the American establishment after Biden took office, objectively, there are many American technocrats who hold similar positions. Anti-Russia is not only politically correct for the United States, but also a basic foreign policy with tangible benefits, but it is not necessary to drive Russia to a dead end, so the United States is not without technocrats questioning Biden's Russia policy. As for the reason why they oppose Trump, it is not that the way of easing relations with Russia is incorrect, but that Trump's specific method of easing relations with Russia is too rough in their opinion. While easing the relationship with Russia, it allows Russia to penetrate into Europe. Opportunities for political influence. Now the Biden administration may have lost the opportunity to correct this mistake. They may have had such an opportunity a few months ago, but now the situation is settled. Russia has become China's all-round and in-depth cooperative partner, as Macron said. Although a little too much, but generally no problem. On the Taiwan issue, Russia's position has always been on the side of the Chinese mainland, supporting the One China principle and supporting the fact that both sides of the Taiwan Strait belong to one China. This position is relatively reliable. In fact, after the founding of New China in 1949, the Soviet government reacted very quickly at that time. It quickly confirmed its position of supporting New China on the Taiwan issue and refused to recognize the legitimacy of the Taiwan authorities led by Chiang Kai-shek. On this issue, the Soviet Union policy has not changed. Therefore, after the disintegration of the Soviet Union in 1991, independent Russia fully inherited this position, even when China and Russia were imaginary enemies at the beginning of the millennium. This is a rare foresight in the field of Russian diplomacy. Moreover, during the period when Sino-Russian relations have been generally warming up in recent years, Russian diplomats often hinted that they would provide assistance for China's cross-strait reunification when talking about the Taiwan issue. But this is not to say that Russia can provide China with all the help the latter needs, because even if they want to contribute to many issues, the problem is that they don't have the ability. At least on the Taiwan issue, Russia does not have the ability to provide direct military assistance, because the military struggle around the Taiwan issue happens to be carried out in a form that Russia is least good at. The biggest obstacle to China's cross-strait reunification is the United States, which is already very obvious. Specifically, it is the intervention of the U.S. military force. China has been preparing for this interference for many years. Although the issue of cross-strait reunification has been put on hold for a long period of time, similar to believing in the wisdom of future generations, due to the uncertainty of the Taiwan authorities' position, they have always maintained the most basic military deterrence against Taiwan. But basic military deterrence is no longer sufficient. With the possibility of U.S. military intervention, the risk of war between China and the United States is increasing day by day. This war is likely to be a naval and air war, which means that the main battlefield is the ocean in East Asia. Before the war escalates to the stage of a full-scale nuclear war to destroy the opponent's industrial system, the basic characteristics of a naval and air war are high technology, high consumption, high intensity, and correspondingly low casualties. Is completely different. On the sea and air battlefield, the main body of the battle is the military technical equipment of the two parties involved in the war. Russia is obviously unable to provide any direct support, because they don't even have a decent navy. Russia's air force is also very weak, roughly equivalent to the level of the People's Liberation Army in the late millennium, and it is completely unable to conduct a high-intensity naval and air war. Although the current Russian Navy seems to maintain a certain size on paper, its combat readiness is extremely poor, and most of the ships in active service are very old. Taking the Pacific Fleet as an example, the core main forces are the Glory-class destroyer Variag, the modern-class destroyer Guardian, and the Agility, which served on the eve of the disintegration of the Soviet Union. They were considered capital ships with strong combat capabilities back then, but there have been no major upgrades over the years. The level of technology has fallen behind the times. And most importantly, these three warships have been in service for nearly 40 years, and there is actually not much left in their service life. On the one hand, the maintenance cycle of this kind of late-life old ship will be longer, and the combat readiness rate will be low. On the other hand, the aging failure rate and accident rate of the hull equipment will be high. The subordinate warships will not go to sea for more than 2 months every year, and most of the time they lie in the dock. The old batch of Ticonderoga-class cruisers serving in the U.S. Navy during the same period are currently lined up for retirement, but the Russian Army has to continue to let these 40-year-old comrades work harder, and they have no money to build new ships. In addition to the 3 capital ships, the Pacific Fleet also has 4 large Type 1155 anti-submarine ships, and their service time is similar. They were in service at the end of the Soviet Union and did not have anti-ship combat capabilities. These 7 warships constitute the maritime combat force of the Russian Pacific Fleet. What level is this? Considering that the Russian warships have not been upgraded for many years and the ships are relatively old and the number is very small. In fact, the overall combat power of the Russian Pacific Fleet is not up to the level of a destroyer detachment of the People's Liberation Army, or equivalent to that of the 3 major fleets of the Chinese Navy. About a quarter of the weakest East China Sea Fleet. Not to mention supporting the People's Liberation Army's attack on Taiwan. Considering the extremely tense situation in the Western Pacific region during the war, the U.S. military must enter the highest level of combat readiness, and Japan and South Korea are at war. Whether the Russian Pacific Fleet can safely sail from the home port of Vladivostok to the front line of the Taiwan Strait without being intercepted by the U.S. military, and whether several main warships will have serious technical failures that affect combat effectiveness, this may be doubtful. Because in 2022, the Russian Black Sea Fleet suffered losses due to fires on aging warships, and its only aircraft carrier could not be pulled out after lying in the maintenance dock for several years. As for whether the Russian aerospace forces can provide support for the PLA, I am afraid the answer is also no. The current situation of the Russian Air Force is indeed better than that of the Navy. There are also a large number of combat aircraft in active service, and a considerable number of combat aircraft have not been in service for more than 20 years. The aircraft condition is relatively high. After all, Russia is facing the threat of NATO, and NATO, the biggest advantage of the United States, is the powerful strategic air force of the United States, and Russia really has to work hard in this regard. However, the status quo of the Russian Air Force is still very bad, and the level of combat readiness is poor. At present, the flying time of Russian pilots has dropped to no more than 100 hours a year, which is comparable to the level of the PLA in the late millennium. Moreover, the main equipment of the Russian Air Force is still air superior fighters, lacking a sufficient number of multi-purpose fighters, and their multi-purpose fighters do not even have enough advanced ammunition reserves. Among them, the proportion of precision-guided weapons is very low. As for the battlefield surrounding Taiwan, take the Taiwan authorities as an example. The Taiwan authorities have not relaxed their combat readiness in recent years. The density of various fortifications on the island is extremely high. The degree of protection against impact bunkers. Take a Taiwan military Patriot missile launch site near the Taiwan Military Hospital Taishu General Hospital as an example. Each launch vehicle has a separate anti-shock bunker to ensure that a bomb or missile can only destroy a missile under the condition of a precise hit. If the vehicle is launched, and the bombs and missiles do not hit accurately, the combat equipment in the bunker will survive. Based on the fact that the Russian army basically used unguided rockets and bombs for ground strikes on the Ukrainian battlefield, if they want to deal with the Taiwan army, I suspect that their airstrike methods are quite insufficient in terms of technology, and there is not enough strike accuracy, unable to effectively kill the target. If it is said that Russian military aircraft stationed in my country's coastal airports to provide support during the war, then this is actually unnecessary, and even harmful. It is equivalent to consuming the aviation operation capabilities of the PLA's military airports without providing substantial help. Of course, I am not saying that Russia is useless. Of course it is useful, but the areas where they can play a role, at least not including providing direct military help for the PLA to attack Taiwan, but they can provide help indirectly. The first and most important thing is to maintain bilateral trade with China, to continue to deliver oil, natural gas, minerals, fertilizers, and other important raw materials and products to China during the war, and to assist China in ensuring the smooth flow of land trade routes. China's current important trade routes on land, one leads to the Indochina Peninsula, and the other is the Land Silk Road from the northwest of China to Central Asia. Among them, the Indochina Peninsula, that is, China, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand. This route can be guaranteed by China itself, because the Indochina Peninsula countries have more or less military technology exchanges and cooperation with China, which is actually a friendly relationship. In the case of military neutrality, they will never cooperate with the U.S. trade sanctions policy. As for another trade route from northwest China to Central Asia, Russia's support and help is really needed to ensure the smooth flow of this trade route. Because the Central Asian region is Russia's traditional sphere of influence, the United States had a strong influence in this region after launching the war in Afghanistan, but it basically disappeared with the withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan. China has little influence in Central Asia. Even the progress of the China-Kyrgyz-Uzbekistan railway project depends on Russia's. They nod to revere it. Therefore, this railway was proposed in 1997, and construction has not started until this fall. Will start working. Central Asia is an important transportation hub that can connect to the Gulf region. Ideally, China will establish a trade route from Xinjiang, China to East Asia, and finally to the Gulf region. Darker. National security cannot be completely independently guaranteed by countries that need external support. China may not have much spare power to provide them with security guarantees, but Russia can. Considering that Russia has a considerable degree of control over Central Asian countries based on military power, they can at least ensure that the United States cannot force these countries to cut off trade with China through military threats. This is Russia's first important value to China, which is to help China obtain a stable supply chain of energy and raw materials that will not be cut off even in wartime. This is an important confidence for China to unilaterally fight against the United States. The second value involves nuclear. As mentioned earlier, the American verification fighters have always been afraid of Russia's nuclear arsenal. They have always been highly vigilant about Russia's diplomatic relations with China, and pointed out very early. China's nuclear power is limited. If China and Russia reach an approximate alliance relationship, then Russia's nuclear power will be completely regarded as China's nuclear power, offsetting a significant disadvantage of China. Although this statement is a bit exaggerated, the relationship between China and Russia is still far from nuclear arsenal sharing, but the question is who can guarantee that when the United States launches ballistic missiles, Russia will definitely not will there be a reaction? After all, Russia's nuclear policy is not like China's, which includes provisions to provide nuclear umbrellas for other countries. That is to say, as long as Russia maintains a relatively vague position on its nuclear policy, that is, making it impossible for the United States to determine whether they will use nuclear power and whether they will provide China with a nuclear umbrella, then this will be enough to deter the United States, at least for them to escalate the conflict, think twice before acting, which actually helps to maintain stability. Because nuclear war is a very serious issue, the United States dare not rashly escalate the conflict level of the war without being able to determine China's cards. Xiao's family background is still very solid, and he is still the most valuable partner for China. $370,000 U.S. troops poured into China's surroundings, but Biden felt that it was not enough. The United States was preparing to join forces with more than 30 countries to fight in groups, and China and Russia also blew the clarion call to jointly oppose American hegemony. The trend of NATO's Asia-Pacificization cannot be ignored, but Japan is denying this trend. Based on multiple media reports, on May 24th local time, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida stated that Japan has no plans to become a member or associate member of NATO. This statement once again confirmed that Japan will not join NATO. However, Kishida also admitted that the NATO group plans to open a liaison office in Japan to strengthen ties between Japan and NATO. Although this plan has not yet been officially implemented, there are many news hinting at this possibility. For example, Japanese ambassador to the United States Koji Tomita stated that Japan intends to strengthen its partnership with NATO. Japanese Foreign Minister Lin Fanzhen and NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg both confirmed that the two sides are already negotiating on opening a NATO liaison office in Japan. In fact, the approach of Japan and NATO is only one of a series of changes. Both Japan and South Korea are showing signs of accelerating their approach to the United States, and more NATO members are appearing in the Asia-Pacific region. At the just concluded G7 summit, the G7 once again intervened in the Taiwan Strait issue, declaring that China is not allowed to unilaterally use force to change the status quo in the region. There is an aura that the G7 may directly intervene in the Taiwan Strait issue. To some extent, the current strategy of the United States is to drag more than 30 countries, including NATO, Japan, and South Korea, together to group fight against China and increase the pressure on China by mobilizing siege. It should be pointed out that even if the military involvement of other NATO countries and Japan and South Korea is not considered for the time being, the U.S. military has assembled an unprecedentedly large combat force in the surrounding areas of China, which is quite obvious to deter China. According to a research report by the China-South China Sea Research Institute, by 2021, the U.S. military has deployed at least 375,000 troops in the Indo-Pacific strategic direction, which is more than a quarter of all U.S. combat forces. Specifically, 60% of the U.S. Navy's combat ships, 55% of the Army's combat troops, and two-thirds of the U.S. Marine Expeditionary Force are located in this area. If you consider that the U.S. military often deploys aircraft carrier battle groups from other regions to the Asia-Pacific region, then the U.S. military's strength in this region is actually stronger. Everyone can see that the United States has deployed so many troops and weapons to gather around China, probably not just for the purpose of deterring China. Washington is also preparing for the worst possible scenario, planning to directly respond to a military conflict with China when an extreme situation occurs. Many countries have entered the Asia-Pacific to encircle China. However, under the joint pressure of the Western Bloc, China and Russia, the two closely cooperating partners sounded a new clarion call against U.S. hegemony. On May 24, Beijing time, Russian Prime Minister Mishustin arrived in Beijing and met with the Chinese side. During this period, China and Russia signed a series of new bilateral economic and cooperation agreements. This shows that although the United States insists on cutting off the economic cooperation between China and Russia, the United States' wish has not been realized. It is worth noting that during the Sino-Russian talks, Russian Prime Minister Mishustin bluntly stated that the two countries respect each other's interests in jointly responding to the pressure of sanctions from Western groups and the turbulent international situation. In addition, the Russian Prime Minister also borrowed a Chinese idiom, that is, people are united, Taishan moves, to describe Russia and China's determination to jointly meet the challenges of the West. Obviously, under the tremendous pressure from the West, Russia has no choice but to strengthen cooperation with China, and China is also accepting cooperation invitations from Russia out of consideration of the overall strategic situation. Although China has repeatedly emphasized that Sino-Russian cooperation has the characteristics of non-alignment, non-confrontation, and non-targeting of third parties, joint opposition to hegemonism is what China and Russia have in common. The further deepening of cooperation between China and Russia clearly requires joint response external pressure. For the United States, it is their biggest nightmare to deal with China and Russia, two powerful opponents at the same time. It is in line with the U.S. strategy to separate China and Russia and break them one by one, but China and Russia will obviously not fall into the trap of the United States. In the face of the United States gathering its allies to put pressure on China and Russia in groups, the response of China and Russia may be to unite countries in the world that are unwilling to submit to hegemony to jointly counter U.S. hegemony. The United States is trying to coerce some of its allies to encircle China and Russia, but time will prove that the United States is the real minority in front of the world, and its unpopular hegemony is doomed not to last. Some people say, it's harder to ask for help than to go to the sky, and favors are thinner than paper. Although this is not the whole of life, it also shows the coldness of the world. Author Wu Guanzhen. A reader said, the first time I heard the name Wu Guanzhen was in 1985. It was said on the radio that the mayor of Wuhan made a private visit in a microservice and was scolded by a waiter in a shopping mall. Wu Guanzhen specifically told the waiter not to fire him. When he was in charge of Wuhan, his achievements and reputation were really good, although he was humiliated 5 times by the staff who held the iron job because he did not show off his official authority during his private visits. From absolute grassroots to official to national level, in Wu Guanzhen's official career, the most remarkable thing should be his calmness and calmness. Unforgettable night of autumn rain. Wu Guanzhen, In the late autumn of 1950, my mother went to a relative's house to buy a piglet on credit. Less than 10 days later, the head of a relative's family came to my house and said to my mother, "I'm here to see my brother, and I'm here to collect your piggy money on credit." Mother said, "I really don't have any money now, and I will definitely send it to you when I raise money." The leader didn't say yes or no. Then, she pointed to our dilapidated house and said, "My relatives live well now, but you still live in a cowshed. It's so broken and short that a dog can jump over it." At night, my father found out and lost his temper. As if the piglets understood, they kept barking. The father scolded his mother for being spineless, blamed his relatives for being ruthless, and hated himself for being useless. He was determined to send the piglet back to the family, and would rather starve to death than humiliate himself. My mother had no choice but to tie a rope around the piggy's neck with her, and lead me back to my relative's house. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, the autumn wind was rustling, and it was raining continuously. I was holding the little pig in front, and my mother was yelling at the back. When I approached the 2 big camphor trees in the west of the village, I remembered that a bully and a counter-revolutionary had been shot here. Because I have witnessed it with my own eyes, I feel very horrified. Immediately, my legs became weak and I couldn't walk anymore. I was so frightened that I cried. My mother also cried sadly, and comforted me and said, Don't be afraid, where are the ghosts? Even if there are ghosts, they will not scare poor people like us. I have lived for more than 40 years, and I have been bullied by people, but I have never been bullied by ghosts. I felt as if I had received a kind of comfort that I had never had before, and it seemed that I had taken a courage medicine. After walking about 100 meters further, I saw another person in the village who had been killed by a neighboring village put in a coffin and built a hut with bricks, saying that he could only be buried after revenge. I was scared again, but I still bit the bullet and pulled the little pig forward. This guy kept barking, as if to embolden us, to complain for us, or to criticize the lack of human kindness. Going forward, I had to climb over a mountain and walk on a mountain road more than 2 miles long. At this time, it was raining harder and my body was soaked. Walking on the mountain road, suddenly an animal sprang out. I don't know if it was a wolf or a dog, and I was frightened. Mother said, "Don't be afraid, you are a big boy now, animals will not harm us." When approaching the foot of the mountain in the northwest, I saw a large area of graves, large and small mounds, like large and small earthen buns. Mother said, "I will go out of the mountain after a while. Don't be afraid when I'm here." I thought of my mother's pity, and cried again. About half an hour later, the little pig was finally sent to a relative's house, and it was only done at this time. The headman said lightly, "Put the pigs in the pen, and you go back after breakfast." We were drenched all over, like drowned chickens. We had been tossing so much all night, we didn't even drink a sip of water, and we were already hungry. But the mother only said softly, "Thank you, we have to rush back." On the way back, the sky was gloomy at first, and gradually became brighter. When the autumn rain hit, I shivered from time to time. Back home, seeing our pitiful appearance, my father didn't make a sound, turned around, and kept wiping his tears with his hands. My mother hurriedly changed my wet clothes, which were all patched old homespun clothes. Father cooked a pot of vegetable porridge, and put a bowl of salted mustard greens on the table without oil. My father said, "Maggots grow in poor people's salt bowls." My mother said to me, "You are more than 10 years old. There are many people in your family, and you can't get enough food for a few acres of land. Your father is too busy. Don't go to school anymore, okay?" I didn't make a sound, put down the bowl, fell on the bed and cried. My parents relented, gave in, and said, "I was discussing with you. If you insist on studying, go to school. Anyway, we are poor." I got up and ran to school hungry. My mother chased me back. That evening, there were dark clouds and autumn rain, but the pine tree on the drying ground was still so strong. No matter it was severe winter or hot summer, it was always so tall and straight. During dinner, my father suddenly asked, Can you study well? Can you become a primary school teacher in the future?" I said, "I don't know, as long as you allow me to read, I will try my best." At this time, my mother found that I had a high fever, so she quickly boiled a large bowl of boiling water, told me to drink it all, and covered the quilt to force out the cold. The autumn rain outside the window is falling. The autumn wind poured in through the cracks in the wall made of ship planks, and it was chilly. Seeing my parents as skinny and skinny, years and hardships engraved on their faces filled with sorrow, my nose was sore, and my eyes were dark. Look at my skinny hands, like chicken feet, and skin like the bark of those two old camphor trees. Some people say, it's harder to ask for help than to go to the sky, and favors are thinner than paper. Although this is not the whole of life, it also shows the coldness of the world. The human suffering I experienced in my childhood made me empathize with those living at the bottom of society, and I paid special attention to the living conditions of vulnerable groups. I consider myself a kind and righteous person, especially know how to repay kindness. The end. Son author, Wu Guanzhen, born in August 1938 in Yugan, Jiangxi Province, joined the party in March 1962, started working in April 1968, graduated from the Department of Power, Tsinghua University, majoring in thermal measurement and automatic control, postgraduate degree, engineer. Served as member of the Standing Committee of the Political Bureau of the 16th CPC Central Committee and Secretary of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection. This article is excerpted from Wu Guanzhen's personal anthology Idle to the Pen Pool, published by People's Publishing House. On August 29, 2022, the 2022 China Internet Civilization Conference Digital Public Welfare and Charity Development Forum co-sponsored by the China Internet Development Foundation, China Charity Federation, and China Association for the Promotion of Journalism for the Disabled was held at the National Convention and Exhibition Center, Tianjin. Haixia, a member of the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, a news anchor of China's Central Radio and Television, and the initiator of the Pomegranate Seed Project, gave a keynote speech at the scene. The Public Welfare Project Pomegranate Seed Project for the promotion of Mandarin was initiated by Haixia. Help the revitalization of the countryside, let children of all ethnic groups share high-quality educational resources, improve the vocational skills of young and middle-aged adults, promote the embrace of all ethnic groups like pomegranate seeds, and forge a sense of the community of the Chinese nation. 8 years ago, when the hostess of CCTV participated in the CPPCC meeting, one of the proposals was to add the long meals to high-speed trains. She said that in the past, the dining car of the green leather car was equipped with fixed stoves and tableware, so many trains had no means and resources to provide meals that met their needs for ethnic minorities or vegetarian passengers. Some friends from ethnic minorities may feel a little uncomfortable, because the high-speed rail catering lacks ethnic minority catering. The problem. With such good hardware facilities, our software should also keep up. Not only the hardware is better, but also our service system, service concept, and service level must keep pace with the times. Haixia said, everyone said that our varies the most important point of national harmony and unity is mutual tolerance and respect for each other's cultures. If our service concept can be more detailed and deepened, our service level will be improved to a higher level. Haixia, who originally wanted to serve ethnic minorities, when did she want to popularize Mandarin? Didn't she want mutual tolerance and respect for each other's cultures? To popularize Mandarin, isn't it tolerance and respect for minority cultures? The Public Welfare Project Pomegranate Seed Project started in 2016. What happened this year? From February 27 to April 27, 2016, the 10th Inspection Team of the Central Committee carried out special inspections on the party group of the State Ethnic Affairs Commission. On April 28, 2016, the Director of the National Ethnic Affairs Commission was replaced. From April 22 to 23, 2016, the National Religious Work Conference was held in Beijing. On August 1, 2016, the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region implemented the Anti-Terrorism Law of the People's Republic of China. Article 51 stipulates that the concept of halal is distorted, generalized, expanded, and alienated to in social life and other aspects. If the circumstances are minor and do not constitute a crime, they shall be punished in accordance with the provisions of Article 81 of the Anti-Terrorism Law of the People's Republic of China. Not to mention this hostess of CCTV, an official who claimed that his ancestor was Wang Gasha from Persia, because there is no distinction between Wang and King, so some of the descendants were surnamed Wang and some were surnamed Wang, was still in 2017 visited the Yellow Emperor's Mausoleum in 2009, and publicly stated his position in the newspaper. Ethnic minorities must emphasize the identity of the Chinese nation, and they must always be loyal to the Great Motherland, the Communist Party of China, and socialism with Chinese characteristics. They must emphasize the origin of their nation, clearly rooted in the land of China, and their soul lies in Chinese culture, and they will always be a part of the Chinese nation. We must talk about national feelings. As a member of the Chinese nation, we must always love the country and the Chinese nation, and work together to realize the Chinese nation as a family and work together to build the Chinese dream. I once said that in this world, all countries want to see the jokes of other countries, and they all compare badly. Only the Chinese nation is a different kind, with absolute self-confidence and open-mindedness, saying that the world is better, China will be better. We wish the world well, and of course we wish the compatriots in Hong Kong and Wadeo well, because it's my own. In other words, when Hong Kong returned to the motherland, we were extremely proud. After the return of Hong Kong, all of us held our breath and hoped that Hong Kong would get better and better. We were extremely happy with any achievements in Hong Kong. In the financial sniper battle, the mainland helped Hong Kong win a big victory, and everyone was overjoyed. Many people enthusiastically went to Hong Kong to see our own land and compatriots. What did we get? 25 years in exchange for what? I'm sorry, but whoever is a normal person, whoever has normal human emotions, whoever is not licking a dog, what do you think everyone thinks now? It was never the United States that was most afraid of a great renaissance, but the colonists. Audio 00:0014:58. Bad potato works. First published on WeChat a bad potato. Come back with my country. For the recent incident of discrimination against non-English speaking passengers, Cathay Pacific Airways, a company belonging to the British Swire Group, has apologized. But the Cathay Pacific Union, which represents employees in Hong Kong, categorically refused to apologize. In fact, I said in the BMW incident 2 months ago that the problem did not lie with BMW at all. For foreign capital, as long as they can make money, they can kneel down and call China their father. One day when our great rejuvenation is realized, they will cry and shout to prove how much they love China, saying every day that they are a company rooted in China. But for many colonists, they would rather not make money, or even lose money, but also satisfy their humble sense of superiority. One day when our great rejuvenation is realized, the colonists will angrily shout at the United States. Why did the father surrender first when the son wanted to fight to the death? It has never been the United States that fears our great rejuvenation the most, but the colonists. I went to Wusu in 2002, went to Shenzhen in 2008, and stayed in Guangdong for 20 years. I have never been to Hong Kong once, and I have never even applied for a Hong Kong and Macau permit. I have been abroad several times in the middle, and I never take off from Hong Kong or land in Hong Kong. If there is no suitable flight, I would rather wait for a few more days. I am not discriminating against Hong Kong. I think that only by doing this can they return to the right path and have a correct understanding of themselves. If they all get past the pole, the more they think they are superior, the more they look down on others. I don't want to go to Hong Kong. There are too many reasons. I will just mention a few. Hong Kong stubbornly builds the Hong Kong-Macau bridge, and does not build a bridge linking Shenzhen in any case. It is obvious that they must do things that lose money. Up to now, the average daily traffic volume is only a few thousand, and a huge cost of 126 billion has been invested. 500 years can't get it back. Hong Kong wanted to build a super funeral parlor, only 300 meters away from the Luohu business district. Why did they do this? Hong Kong people said they wanted to be environmentally friendly. They are environmentally friendly. Shenzhen people will breathe out of the furnace that Hong Kong people breathe intensively every day. What kind of smoke? This is really a beautiful landscape, but when they think of it, they are happier than earning tens of millions. Fortunately, this funeral home has been in operation for several years, and finally it was cancelled. Coupled with the frequent rumors of various courtesies that Hong Kong gives to mainland tourists, I said at the time, if these people can earn a penny from me, I will treat them as ruthless. And when my colleagues or friends invited me to Hong Kong, I said that they are all cities. Shenzhen is so much better than Hong Kong. Why should I go to such a crowded place? Do you watch the flow of people? My friend said that there are duty-free shops for buying high-end brands, but I said forget it. I never need high-end brands. I'm telling the truth. When you watch my videos, you change a lot of clothes, but they are all comfortable domestic products. The best one is because Chinese companies have acquired foreign brands and are doing their best to expand overseas markets. I feel that I must support it. Whether it is Hong Kong or Wadeo, they used to have the most precious memory, which is their sense of superiority. Even a waiter in Hong Kong is unwilling to look directly at entrepreneurs in the mainland. In 1997, the total economic volume of Hong Kong was 1.37 trillion RMB, and the total economic volume of Shenzhen was 1,120 RMB. Shenzhen was less than one-tenth of Hong Kong. At that time, a part-time worker in Hong Kong earned much more money than a senior employee in the mainland. Unfortunately, by 2022, the total economic volume of Hong Kong will be 2.42 trillion yuan, and the total economic volume of Shenzhen will be 3.23 trillion yuan. In 25 years, Shenzhen has grown by 30 times, and now its economic aggregate is about 1.5 times that of Hong Kong. This is because of the particularity of Hong Kong's international finance. I can clearly say that after the internationalization of the RMB, the particularity of Hong Kong's finance will be lost. Meaning, at that time, as the technological capital of the country, Shenzhen's economic aggregate would be at least 10 times that of Hong Kong. It is precisely because of this huge gap and the inevitable result that it is difficult for many Hong Kong people or Wadeo people to accept it. In a way, Hong Kong was colonized by the British, Frog Island was colonized by the Japanese, and they learned a certain style. Today's American and Western groups go to Africa to pose for charity, but they are full of hatred for China, because China is the real powerhouse. The same is true for Hong Kong and Wadeo. If the mainland is poor and backward today, they will show their sympathy in various ways and express their sense of moral superiority. Unfortunately, the result makes them very disappointed. One of the reasons for Hong Kong's decline today is that the British desperately dug holes and brainwashed them before they withdrew from Hong Kong, especially after the final return was confirmed in 1984. The British began to plant mines frantically. And the biggest thunder is to give Hong Kong the shitty gift of Western-style democracy. As I said before, as long as a region implements Western-style democracy, it will soon decline, and you can't do anything, because many people can't even manage the community's business committees and their own children, but they always think they can manage a country well. Hong Kong's so-called Hong Kong people ruling Hong Kong had never been realized before the 1980s. Britain never regarded Hong Kong as a human being, but since 1984, Patton began to quickly distribute the rights of the Hong Kong government. In 1992, the Hong Kong British government became very enlightened. It gave whatever power it wanted, and announced that it would lift the restrictions on associations. Anyone can register and no organization will be banned. This is an important reason why a large number of NGOs gather in Hong Kong. Subsequently, the administrative power of the British Hong Kong government was assigned to the Secretary of State for Home Affairs, and the Legislative Council, which originally belonged to the government, was turned into a legislative council independent of the government. To this day, the judiciary in Hong Kong is completely controlled by foreign judges. In 1991, the United Kingdom changed the name of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights issued by the United Nations into the Hong Kong Human Rights Law. This convention puts forward many human rights initiatives, such as restricting the death penalty and relaxing restrictions on nationality and household registration. Many so-called powers have not been implemented in the UK, but are fully promoted in Hong Kong. To this day, all the chaos is the seed planted by the United Kingdom for many years. The United Kingdom generously feeds the so-called democracy and freedom shit that it has carefully concocted to Hong Kong. Therefore, under the system, the chief executive of Hong Kong has become a decoration, unable to do anything he wants to do. The efficiency of various departments in Hong Kong is astonishingly low. You can see how tough the police in Western countries are. The American police can draw their guns and shoot if they disagree, but the police in Hong Kong are virtuous and obedient. Mouth, you will be complained at every turn. Therefore, no matter whether it is the Cyberport or the Chinese Medicine Port, neither of them has been successfully implemented in Hong Kong. However, everything cannot be attributed to the UK. The deepest level is the prejudice and arrogance in the bones of Hong Kong people. I failed to start a business in 2015. I was introduced to work in Wadeo Enterprise for about half a year. During that time, I had intensive contact with Wadeo people and Hong Kong people, which can be said to be a complete virtue. I stayed for half a year and then left, because there was really no possibility of doing well. At that time, Boss X was very jealous when he saw JD.com and Dobeo, and said that I also want to start an e-commerce company. What is the future in the manufacturing industry and the face in the internet? So I invested in the business department of an e-commerce platform. What Boss X said at that time was, I have 1 million employees, why can't the e-commerce platform be established? First of all employees must go to my platform to buy things. Isn't this the scale? Is his idea right? If he is right, the largest e-commerce platform in China today should not be Dobeo or JD.com, but PetroChina or China Power Grid. Isn't it because there are more people than anyone else? If the mainland wants to start a new project, it must first find an experienced hand to be the CEO, and then build an experienced team to quickly start the project. However, Boss Times' e-commerce platform has a total of 20 ranks according to the hierarchy of the company in Wadeo. Mainlanders who are familiar with the operation of the internet can't get up to the 8th rank at most. They can get a high salary, but they can't get up to the management level. That is to say, the decision makers are all from Washington, Hong Kong, and Singaporeans. These people do not understand e-commerce at all, while those in the mainland who are familiar with e-commerce are all executives. The boss of Times regards e-commerce as a core project. Every time he returns to Longhua, he gathers all the middle managers for a meeting. There are 70 or 80 people in a room, and the chairman of other business departments also comes to participate. To say that Boss X is really able to endure hardships, people in their 60s can start talking at 10 a.m. and continue until 8 p.m., and then continue after eating 2 lunch boxes in the middle. I was in my 30s at the time and could listen. I couldn't hold on, and I fell asleep after listening to it. The Boss X became more energetic as he talked. Then the scene of the meeting was that a group of dumb frogs and Hong Kong factory-born old men with an average age of over 50 were discussing the internet together, and people from mainland China who knew the internet next to them dozed off while listening. During the entire discussion and decision-making process, Boss X didn't have any awareness to ask, what is the mature practice in the industry, and how other internet companies play. He didn't want to know at all, and was completely immersed in his own world. At that time, the CEO of the entire project was found from Wadeo. My colleague in Hong Kong told me that he was very good at making routers in Wadeo, and he was the first in the entire Wadeo. The annual turnover can reach nearly 10 million. I heard that I'm going to fuck. The group leader of Dobeo has higher performance than him. At that time, I was in charge of the mobile phone sector, and I needed to apply for a fee of 50,000 yuan to engage in 618 activities. I started to go through the process in April, and after walking for 3 months, the application went all the way to the finance department of Wadeo headquarters, and the process has not yet been completed. In the end, I resigned and was not approved. Because this Wadeo company is originally engaged in manufacturing, processes are basically Japanese-style management models, and they are all fixed. There are few changes for random timing, and the company is run like a precision machine. 4 months later, the boss of Times lost nothing of the 20 million invested. The boss of Times was furious, saying that when I was working on a mobile phone project, other companies paid me in advance, and I only started manufacturing after receiving the money. Unfortunately, I invested money in your project, but you still can't do it. The CEO was scolded by the boss X and spurted blood. I want to say that you said that you will surpass JD.com in 1 year. Don't you know that JD.com raises tens of billions of dollars in each round of financing? After working there for less than half a year, I ran away quickly. The whole feeling is, people from Wadeo and Hong Kong have been living on their laurels in the past 30 years, and have not achieved any new projects or new industries. They all have a kind of self-confidence, just like all the Wadeo people in the group at that time, they felt. Mainlanders can actually start e-commerce. I'm a frogman to do it. Isn't it killing Jingdong and Dobeo every minute? Really, this kind of logic is unquestionable for them. Boss Times believes 100% that he can kill Jingdong, which invested 200 billion, with an investment of 20 million, and it only takes 1 year. He felt that this was a necessity, and he never doubted it. Therefore, during the entire project operation process, he has never seen how the mainland counterparts do it. The whole group is immersed in their own world and thinking about it. They feel that it is shameful to ask the mainland how to do it. Really, and is a group of, and. In my 20-year career, I have been in contact with a lot of foreign capital. Indeed, many corporate executives in Europe and the United States were shocked by China's achievements after arriving in China, and they will earnestly learn from their Chinese counterparts. But the frogmen and Hong Kong people have always been masters of the people, and they never take the mainlanders seriously. In the past 30 years, the development of the mainland has been 200 times faster than that of Wadao and Hong Kong. They never thought about why, and they are not willing to think about it. So I 100% believe that in the next 10 years, we will achieve a great revival, and the people of Wadao and Hong Kong will become bitter wives. It is difficult for them to accept this result, and they will think that we won because of good luck. I once said that in this world, all countries want to see the jokes of other countries, and they are all worse. Only the Chinese nation is a different kind, with absolute self-confidence and open-mindedness, saying that the world is better, China will be better. We wish the world well, and of course we wish the compatriots in Hong Kong and Wadao well, because it's my own. In other words, when Hong Kong returned to the motherland, we were extremely proud. After the return of Hong Kong, all of us held our breaths and hoped that Hong Kong would get better and better. We are sincerely proud of Hong Kong's achievements. In the sniper battle, the mainland helped Hong Kong win a big victory, and everyone was overjoyed. Many people enthusiastically went to Hong Kong to see our own land and compatriots. What did we get? In exchange for what? I'm sorry, but whoever is a normal person, whoever has normal human emotions, whoever is not licking a dog, what can everyone think? Why do we want the world to be better? Because we have absolute self-confidence, but we never sit on the sky. We are more humble. After the Opium War in 1860, China practiced all the ways to become a powerful country in the world, from the westernization school to the constitutional monarchy, from the presidential system to the new democracy. It can be said that among all the nations in the world, the Chinese nation has the strongest learning ability. However, Hong Kong was colonized by the British for 156 years. Frog Island was colonized by Japan for 50 years. Some of them have been marked with ideological stamps, and many of them have different ideas from ours. And take the colonial history as the source of all superiority. I am afraid that the most difficult thing for them to accept is that we have completely defeated the Western Bloc. We have been overlooking the world, but they are still immersed in the era of colonization and watching the sky from a well. Recently, the United States has been frantically besieging and sanctioning China. NVIDIA's most advanced chips are not allowed to be sold to the mainland. Enterprises in mainland China are ecstatic and accelerating their R&D investment. The CEO of NVIDIA couldn't bear it anymore and shouted at the Biden administration. What are you doing? Sanctions like yours completely damage the interests of American companies, and let us give up the Chinese market. Once Chinese companies grow up, our global market will be lost. This reminds me that when I just graduated from university, I worked for a domestic mobile phone company. At that time, the entire market was dominated by Nokia and Motorola, and the share of domestic mobile phones was less than 5%. We can only encircle the city from the countryside, starting from the county-level market. We are looked down upon by many people, and we are ridiculed as the wife of the village chief's mobile phone. At that time, the limited resources of the company were all invested in research and development, and the treatment in marketing was very poor. Once my colleagues and I went to Shanghai on a business trip to hold an industry conference, and were ridiculed by Chinese employees of a French mobile phone company. I still remember very clearly that the company held an annual meeting, and the branch managers from all over the country came back to report their work. During the discussion stage, everyone complained in unison, saying that this market can't be done, how strong the technology of foreign brands is, and how much investment in the market. How big it is and how much brand power affects it. A brand like ours is simply a shame. In the end, the company's marketing general manager took the case and said, "Everyone wants to be the son of Clinton, everyone wants to be the son of Bill Gates, and everyone wants to be the second generation of rich officials, but you were born to be the son of a fucking farmer, and this is your destiny. Your parents demolished the house and sold the land to send you to college, but you asked them why they didn't cut your kidney and send you to Harvard. Are you going to Nokia? Then if you resign today, I will approve it immediately. Do people want you?" After the general manager finished speaking, the audience fell silent. I still remember that scene. Since then, everyone has worked hard, and it took 2 years to completely drive Nokia and Moto out of China. 2 years later, we acquired the mobile phone division of that French company. This is just a microcosm of the mobile phone industry. In the past 20 years, it is also the counterattack of all industries under the joint efforts of the Chinese people. We all hope very earnestly for the success of his silicon chip, because it represents our ideal and unyielding. Under the heavy blockade by the United States, it supplies the world with an independent supply chain, but it has always stood firm and moved forward with difficulty. We firmly believe that we will get the ultimate success. We are eager for real heroes to counterattack. Only the colonists think that they are bastards of British or Japanese aristocrats, and they are not ashamed, but proud. Our generation has witnessed the rise of Chinese manufacturing. I must also believe that the Great Revival will be realized within 10 years. When that day comes, the whole world will be scrambling to learn Chinese. How will those colonists who are proud of being able to speak a few words of English face this world?